Welcome to the very first episode of the Cause Correct podcast. My name is Rispa Wanjanjage, and I am going to be your host. Oh God, where to begin? Cause Correct, that is the goal. That is what we're going to be doing here. And I must admit that I'm very excited and grateful, honestly, to finally have enough courage and just enough confidence to start this, because otherwise it's been years, if I'm being honest, of talking myself out of doing a podcast. Not Cause Correct itself. I don't think if I started in the years when I wanted to have one, the name would have been Cause Correct. But point is that I have spoken myself out of doing not just this project, but a lot of so many other things. Like, sadly, many of us do, where we tell ourselves maybe you're not worthy enough, maybe you're not good enough, maybe you don't have anything worthy to say. So yeah, I am very grateful that I finally get to do this. And now for a first episode, I mean, it is hard to just condense your thoughts and your mind into saying just one thing. So I'm going to do my best to hopefully sound coherent by the end of this episode. And I thought that the best way would be to explain why Cause Correct and what it means to me, and hopefully what it can mean for you who's going to walk this journey with me. So this is like an all cards on the table. I will start by saying that Cause Correct is like getting back on track. I don't know if you've ever heard of the word true north. It's like in a compass where you need to get back to the right direction. So as for me, first, I must confess that I'm doing Cause Correct not as something that I'm doing for other people. No, this is something that I'm also doing for myself. I am in the process of cause correcting. I am in the process of cause correction. Doing this podcast in and of itself is a version of cause correction for me, just because correction is not just when you've lost your way in a project or in school or in grades, but actually my understanding of cause correction is getting back to the accurate way, the accurate perspective of looking at yourself, of looking at ourselves after years of struggling with a very low sense of self-worth, sometimes non-existent self-esteem, and to be honest, a couple of years in loads of imposter syndrome. I think the biggest form of course correction that anyone needs to do is to think about themselves as God sees them. I am strongly convinced that the world as it is now does not have people with mental health issues. Not really. What we have is people who either do not know who themselves, who rather they do not know who they are, or have spoken themselves out of being who they truly are. And as a result, they are suffering because I think there's just so many problems that come with not thinking about yourself the right way. Like, for example, if I don't think I am worthy, I'm not going to put out any work that is done out of my creativity or out of my efforts, because I'll be wondering, oh, maybe no one will listen, or no one will pay attention, or no one will think that I make sense. Or on the other hand, like, people just tell themselves, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. Maybe there's people who are cut out for doing great things in life, as the rest of us, we've been, I don't know, maybe condemned to a life where we are miserable, but we will stay miserable because otherwise showing up is risking too much. Because correction actually is a step of, oh, people, it's courage. It's only courage. Otherwise, me, I will not do this. Let me just confess. Let me just confess. It's only courage. And courage is not like, I don't feel afraid. I'm not afraid that I could be ashamed, or I could even be humiliating myself by doing this. But like, courage to say that, you know what? I'm just going to do it. It's courage because I think I've had quite a number of good years. It's 10 years since I left high school this year, because I finished high school when I was in 2014. That is when I did my Kenya certificate of secondary education. That's when I completed high school. And in all of these years, I think I've had a few instances of what I considered failure that really defined the way that I showed up. I think I've had my mind working against me for a very long time, which is why, once again, cause correction is very important to me. Because cause correction is not about you getting the right job. Who cares? You can get the right job when you are the right person for that job, because first you believe you're worthy of it. You believe you belong there, and you believe you have value to present there. You're not going there and thinking, oh my God, I'm a fraud. They are about to find me out, or I'm about to be exposed that I'm not maybe as good as I project to be, or as confident as I project to be. So, cause correction is very personal. It's very, very personal to me, because I have paid the cost of not considering myself worthy. And I also want to confess that no one wakes up one day and decides that they do not want to feel like they are human beings who are worthy. There are so many things that contribute to that journey. There's failures that contribute to someone not feeling like they're worthy. And rising up from failure is hard. So I want to confess once again, because correction is not something that's going to be a one-off event that, oh, I've woken up and today I have course corrected, babes. No. It is a journey. It's probably a process that we are going to be engaged with our entire lives, because we need to keep like reminding ourselves to get back on track. Because correction for me is like getting back to the original version of the person that you were created to be, or that I was created to be, that we were created to be. Because correction is like saying that it's not that I do not have a past, it's not that I do not have history that, you know, it would make more sense to hide than show up, but that I am showing up again despite that history. Because correction is being like, yo, I am alive, and it is so unfair to myself and to God and to maybe everyone that I might have an opportunity to be kind to if I just continue hiding, you know? Because correction is saying that I've been hurt, I've been traumatized, I've been bullied, or I've bullied myself. I have felt defeat and I have hidden in defeat, but it's still worth it to show up. Because the opposite of not showing up, the cost is your whole life. Because correction is saying, yes, I have a past, I have a history. And maybe that past sometimes still like screams things in my head, and voices in my head could still be saying that I might just get humiliated again for showing my face again. But the cost of not doing it is too high, and I'm not willing to pay that price. It's saying that I've already paid the price by not showing up for the years you've not shown up. And it could be it's because you're 13 or because you're 90. Whatever the age, everyone has room to cause correct. Because if you look back and you have any form of regret and you're still alive, then it's to say, my idea of cause correction is that I'm going to try and reclaim the years that I have lost, the time that I have lost. Is to gather courage to do the things that you had said you would do and now you have not done. And then now the voice in your head has been shouting at you, you've not done it. Look how much of a failure you are. Look what a miserable person you are. Everybody else in your age group has already been doing better than you. Look how you had said you would be traveling and you've never left this country. My God, that might hit some people. Look how much you had said you wanted to go to a university abroad and you had used it as a definition for a way, or rather as a way of defining yourself as a successful person, and you've never gone anywhere. Look how you had said you would write that book, or look how you had said you would write that song. Look how you had said you would join those clubs. Look how you had said, it's all of the things that you've not done that then now become a source of shame and a source of discouragement that we are saying in cause correct. In spite of those things, I am going to rise. It's not because it's easy. It's not because it's not uncomfortable. It's not because it doesn't feel humiliating. People, please, let's not pretend like rising out of failure is not something that's difficult. It is so hard to possibly show yourself and your face again in the very same places where you failed and say, I am going to try again. And the worst part is that it's not like it's guaranteed that when you try again, things are going to be different. The same risk of failing still exists. The same risk of possibly not getting the exact result you want are not guaranteed. There is no guarantee whatsoever that when you cause correct, everything you want to do is going to come across. But it is saying that the opposite, if you don't do it instead, it's just going to become more years of now heightened guilt and shame in your head. As I do this as Rispa, my God, I cannot even begin to tell you guys how much I've had instances in my life where I felt too ashamed to even post anything on social media. Yeah. Because, I don't know, it's just been like a voice of oppression in my head. You're not worthy. You're not good enough. You are a failure, especially that word. I think I have to confess to you guys that Perhaps the whole point of course correction is to defy every voice in my head that has said I am a failure. And it's not just for me alone, but like anyone else who's ever had that voice in their head that they have failed in some way, this is the place for you. Because the cost of failure, because the cost of having that voice that says you're a failure in your head is shame. And shame has been defined by different books as that sense of feeling unworthy and then feeling like, it's like when you feel too ashamed, too humiliated. It's like you humiliated yourself somewhere. Don't show your face again. You're just going to embarrass yourself further. It's that kind of voice. That is what shame is. It's probably the worst form of oppression that anyone can go through. Ah, my God. I hope that as my passion comes through, there's also a level of clarity of what course correct really is. It's getting back on track. But what I mean by getting back on track, it's like it's getting your mind back. For me, course correction is like getting your soul back. For me, course correction is like getting your mind back where your mind does not work against you. And by that, I mean where you will no longer have a mind that mocks you, that discourages you, that calls you names, that humiliates you by telling you that you're not good enough. Like, course correction for me, it's not course correction of things. Things will be fine if your mind is fine. For me, course correction is like purifying your core. So that then out of a pure core, then pure things can come. Going back to the story, who were like, yeah, maybe I wanted to be someone who travels abroad a lot or someone who does great things in the world. The issue is not that you cannot do those things. Not really. But course correction is for the people who've had voices in their head, their own voice. Or maybe voices that have been nurtured out of words that were said by people that were so close to us. So it's been hard to define. Is it me cursing myself? Or is it the voice of this person who I really valued and what they did was hurt me instead of nurture me? Because correction is a journey of purifying our cores, and then out of that, goodness can flow. I feel like I've actually explained what course correction is. It's a purification. It's a journey of like cleansing and washing. It's like when you go to a garden and it has weeds and it has unwanted things growing there, it's like removing every unwanted weed out of your garden, like all those weeds out of your garden. And then you can finally like get access to the pure soil of this garden. And then now out of a garden that has been well cultivated, well farmed, well taken care of, goodness can flow. Because correction is the reverse order of what I feel the 21st century has been doing. We've been told if you chase things, if you chase having so many certifications, if you work on your whatever, I don't know, your LinkedIn profile, if you network correctly, if you make sure that your elevator pitch is ready, if you do, then you're going to be fine. I am someone who I'd say I consider myself a living testimony that you can pursue everything. Honestly, you can pursue everything you feel or you've been told you need to tick as a box so that it can make you feel good. And when you arrive there, you will just be feeling emptier and miserable and unworthy and probably feeling like an imposter, because you'll be feeling like, people, all I have been doing all my life is performing, but at my core, I do not feel any of the things that I am projecting to people. Course correction is a journey of washing and purifying your core, so that then out of the abundance of a good heart, good things can flow. Out of the abundance of a mind that is sound, then solutions can flow. Out of the abundance of someone who feels they are worthy, genuinely, and they belong, then goodness can flow, then encouragement can flow, then love can flow. Forgiveness, starting with the forgiveness of your own self, can flow. Because correction is literally even a journey of getting to a place where you can forgive yourself for your past and say, I did things that may not have been so good or so sound for me, but I didn't know better. And even when I knew better, I still didn't do better. And I have felt miserable for it. But I want to try and be courageous again, see if I could get back to the person I once dreamed I could be. I think a lot of people in the world need this. This sense of being kind to yourself and allowing ourselves to start again. I think a lot of people that are struggling with mental health issues, and I can understand this because I'm someone who, I've had very close encounters with depression, anxiety, imposter syndrome, shame. Oof, especially that shame. I think there's a lot of people who do not show up, who no longer show up because they just feel like they are too messed up to be redeemed, like they've failed too much, like they are too far gone. There's no way they can get back on track. Because correction is a place I want to suggest that we are good enough to try again, if nothing else. That we owe it to ourselves to try again, and that it is very hard to try again, because it will be uncomfortable, but that we are collecting the courage to get back on track. So in a nutshell, all cards on the table, because correction is facing discomfort, fear, shame, anxiety, literally rising up, even against like voices in your own head and telling them, I know, I can hear you, and you sound like you're making sense, but I think I have something good enough worthy of being fought for. So welcome to Cause Correct. My name is Rispa Wanjanjage. I hope to walk with you a journey where you're going to get back to having a core that works for you. And step by step, day by day, one thing by one thing, we can start getting back to people that feel worthy enough, and out of that sense of knowing that they are good enough, then we can be solutions to the world. We can be solutions to our families. We can finally believe ourselves worthy of pursuing the things that we've always wanted to do. Because correction at its core is a place for redemption. And redemption is saying that, yeah, you've had many wrongs. By all means, you do not deserve to be saved or to be changed. But that the price for all your shame, for all your mistakes, for all your past failures has been paid. And you are allowed to try again. So welcome to Course Correct. It's personal for me. But I hope that even you are going to find something in this podcast, in this journey, that's going to help you find the courage, if not to walk the whole. You don't need to have the courage for the whole journey, just to start. You are worthy of beginning again. You are worthy of the effort of trying again. You are worthy of redemption. You're not too far gone. You're not too far gone that you cannot be redeemed, that you cannot try again. Welcome to Course Correct. I hope to be a blessing to you. My name is Rispa. See you in the next episode. Bye.